Welcome back, everyone. So, today I wanted to give my honest thoughts on the new Arena card type after letting it settle for a few days, because I will admit my knee-jerk reaction uh, was not exactly the most positive. So this is the second of two new uh, mechanics, let's say, for Tekken 8. We have the Heat Token, which is more interesting for the cards that the Heat Token allows you to play, rather than the Heat Token itself. And now we get arenas. We finally get to know what arenas do. They are not just reskins of the terrain keyword. These are a brand new card type that go into your deck, but they do not get played into your stage normally. They get put into the arena deck whenever they are checked or played. So, yeah, and the arena deck is shared between both players. So, God help you if you both have the same type of sleeves. Hopefully you remember who played what arena. So, yeah, after you play or check an arena, it gets added to the bottom of the arena deck. The top card of the arena deck is the live one, that's the face-up one. And they can be broken, which discards them and activates the new top card of the arena deck. And they're broken by dealing damage, and if a player's attacks deal damage, if they've dealt a certain number of damage this turn while the arena is active, you get to get a benefit, and then discard the top card of the arena deck. So for Elegant Palace, let's say it's your turn, you dealt at least 6 damage with your attacks while this arena was active. Your next attack gets 1 speed, 1 damage, and then you put this card to the owner's discard pile. So always remember which arenas you played. We have Descent into Subconscious. When a player's attack deals damage, if their attacks have dealt 8 or more damage this turn while this arena was active, add the bottom card of their deck to their hand, and add this card to the bottom of the arena deck. This is the only one so far that doesn't go to the discard pile, so you could technically keep looping this ability on the all symbol. That's kind of cool. I kind of wish this one had the water symbol so it could match well with the a lot of the cards, the water cards that add cards to the bottom of your deck. Into the Stratosphere, if your attacks deal damage and your attacks have dealt at least 7 or more damage this turn while this arena is active, each of their rivals loses 3 health, and then discard this card. So if I've hit you and I've dealt at least 7 damage this turn while this arena is active, you lose an additional 3 health. That can reduce to 0, so that's kind of cool. Ortiz Farm, when a player's attack deals damage, if their attacks have dealt 8 or more damage this turn while this arena was active, build the top card of their deck face down, add this card to the owner's discard pile. Yakushima, if you deal damage and your attacks have dealt 6 or more damage this turn while this arena was active, add a backup from your discard pile to your hand. That's kind of interesting. Secluded Training Ground, if this attack deals damage and their attacks dealt 6 or more damage this turn while this arena is active, add an asset from your discard pile to your hand. We have seen Yoshimitsu care about asset cards, so that's pretty cool. And then Sanctum, when a player's attack deals damage, if their attacks have dealt 5 or more damage this turn while this arena was active, seal a non-character card in their rival's stage. Add this card to the owner's discard pile. So, my thoughts. There was an attack called Depraved Savagery that dealt that could break your arenas, but for some reason that's not showing up on the article anymore. So what do I think of arenas? Honestly, I think they're gonna be kind of like backups. If we remember way back when the first Attack on Titan set came out, and backups were the new thing, you did have shift attacks, which were cool, and those backups were used a bit. But the 2 initial backups they showed, which was, I think, a small Titan appears and a medium Titan appears, those backups weren't used outside of, like, Hanji being able to build one before the game starts. These arenas seem very middling. Um, it is crazy because you could, play your Into the Stratosphere. So I'm going to play this on a 3, check a 3, put Into the Stratosphere into the arena deck. It is now live. Well, then if your rival turns around and hits you for at least 7 damage, you then lose 3 health and you lose your arena. So you have to be really careful because both players do have access to the abilities on arena cards in play. I kind of like the idea of an arena deck. I don't know. I'll be 100% with you guys. I'm not thrilled about these. And I think that just like arenas, until we get more defined, more impactful arena abilities, not to say some of these aren't impactful, but until we get some really good ones, like we didn't start really seeing backups until I think the Critical Role backups, outside of like Beast Titan maybe. Yeah, I don't know if these are going to be too impactful outside of the fact that maybe because they go to the arena deck even after you block with them. So on defense, you could have a block that clears itself, which is kind of cool. Man, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze, considering your rival could also get that juice if they get luckier than you or more aggressive than you, and they can activate your arena's trigger before you get a chance to. I don't know. I thought once I sat with this for a few days, maybe my opinion would, soften on arenas, but I'm not thrilled. And like I said, maybe it's just because these ones just feel like there's not enough, they don't do enough to justify their existence, because you can't commit them to past checks. They are effectively cards that go into your deck just to leave your deck, and there's a chance your rival gets their ability instead of you. I don't know. Like, Descent into Subconscious is really cool just because you can add the bottom of your card to your hand, and then it goes back to the bottom of the arena deck, so even if your rival gets the chance to do it, you still have a chance to do it if, say, Descent into Subconscious is the only arena. It would go to the bottom of the arena deck, and then flip face up again. So there's constantly this, hey, if I deal 8 damage, I get to add the bottom card of my deck to my hand. This reactivates. If I do another 8 damage, I get to add the bottom card of my deck to my hand again. So Descent into Subconscious is cool. I like Descent into Subconscious. All of the other ones just feel a little blah. I mean, Sanctum, you seal 1 card, but you have to deal at least 5 damage first. I mean, okay. Secluded Training Ground, you get to pick up an asset if you've dealt at least 6 damage first. I guess that's okay in asset-based, I want to grab this asset decks, kind of like Yoshimitsu. Yakushima, if you're playing a backup-heavy deck, I could see it, but on Life and Life Attune, there's so many ways to build your backups in, like, Beast Titan's Rock Barrage, stuff like that you wouldn't necessarily need something like Yakushima. Ortiz Farm, the good symbol just loves to do building mid-turn, so maybe for characters like Lars, but even then you only get the 1 build, and you have to deal at least 8 damage in a turn. Which I guess if you're doing Lars things, or maybe like Alyssa things, you could do that. Into the Stratosphere is just straight dangerous, because if your rival out-aggroes you, you lose an additional 3 health, which can reduce you to 0. So maybe if you're playing like some sort of evil aggro, you might be able to do that, but I don't know. And then Elegant Palace, even though this one's Infinity, I don't think it's ever going to get played, just because I deal you at least 6 damage, my next one gets 1/1. Sure, but is that really worth... I don't know. I understand that arenas are giving you a puzzle to solve, but you're at the same time giving your rival a puzzle to solve. And I get that they don't want these to work like field spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where each player has one, because that's not the flavor of the game. But I do kind of look at these and think, why? I mean, terrain assets had abilities playable by each player, and only one terrain could exist in any stage at any time. So if your rival played a terrain and you had a terrain, it would destroy yours. So that's your stage break. And each terrain usually had an ability playable excuse me, playable by each player. So that still kind of fits. Elegant Palace just has stage breaking, which I know is a thing in Tekken. So maybe if we see arenas that have actual abilities like an enhance that's playable by each player, and we move away from terrains, and that's what your terrain is. It's, I'm going to put this arena in my deck, instead of having to build it as an asset and then it can be destroyed like an asset, or it can be built in like an asset. I have this arena deck now that I'm working with, but the arenas have a benefit for both players, like an enhance or a response or even a static. I think that could be cool. But as it stands now, where it's just the stage breaking abilities, I don't know how many of these you're going to see actually being played. Again, kind of like the original backups, where it took us getting a lot more different backups with a lot more backup-centric strategies to kind of, really get that engine going. So I don't really see arenas making a big impact. Again, unless you actually have like an evil aggressive deck that really wants to run through and deal you the 3 damage. And again, these are like not unique. So if you build an into the stratosphere, you block with an into the stratosphere, that goes in. So you could have like multiple of the same arena come up to effectively get multiple triggers. But again, you have to do so much damage in what is kind of like a really defensive meta right now, with cards like Protector of Life, and like Mikasa defeats the female Titan. It's kind of hard to do a lot of this damage unless you're either a super aggro deck or you just string out a whole bunch and just wear your rival down. I don't know. I feel like if you're like a build tall deck, like a powerful deck, kind of like the new Heihachi, you might not be getting a lot of these triggers. So I don't know, man. I will say I'm not enthused. I'm not too excited for these. And again, these are flavorful, and I do love that. But I think trying to play the arena deck kind of like it reminds me of Riftbound, the Riftbound battlefields, where each player can put one into the battlefield face down and stuff like that. It kind of feels like copying homework a little bit, but I don't know, man. I thought terrains were fine, and now it's just more complicated terrains. I don't know. Maybe my opinion will change once we get more arenas in, from other fighting games and stuff. But as of right now, I'm just not too excited for these, and I don't know what kind of impact they're going to make into the meta. Again, we haven't seen the entire Tekken set yet, but who knows? But what do you guys think of arenas? Do you think this is the bee's knees? Do you think this is a really cool thing? Again, I love the flavor of them, but ability-wise and like strategy-wise, they're just not really doing anything for me. So let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.